So really not a lot of oil lands. And at the very least, at the beginning, not a lot of Stormcaller missiles land on the enemy's army. But that is definitely good splash here. Some Stormcallers targeting on the side and more fangs here being taken out quickly. Meanwhile, now finally my crawlers and that fortress absolutely push through. So these guys have been doing good work and they are pushing through. The level 2 fortress is too tanky for these Arclights to just annihilate at this point in the game. That fortress is also going to take out a level 2 Arclight. And it looks like it might be too much for my opponent to handle this round. There's a lot of Stormcallers left and only a level 1 Arclight. Not to mention the fortress. Shields definitely, I think, did a good amount of work, as did these fangs in the middle. My opponent also has fangs here. Everything to group up my forces, I guess. We have Wraiths and Sabertooths. My opponent goes for the Sabertooth, I go for the Wraith, because, once again, he has no anti-air. If I go for the Wraith, it's probably going to go well for a round. He adds Elite now. But no anti-air yet. If he chooses to counter it, I can just sell it. If he chooses to counter it with the anti-air button here. So that kinda is a bit of bait. This fortress here, now officially level 4. Doing some 30,000 damage with each shot, a bit more than that actually. And clocking it at almost 300,000 health. Additional Stormcallers on the side to fill out my board with chaff clear. And the more Stormcallers I have, the better I can counter my opponent once he gets anti-missiles, because there is only so much missile interceptors that you can buy. I guess you could also try and go for war factories. But yeah. The opponent does have Phoenixes here. Which is, I think, honestly I think it might just be bait. Trying to bait me into this button, which costs 400 and makes a bunch of other very important techs very expensive. Scorpions and Arclights, or Scorpion and Arclights, are taking all of this out. I don't have much anti-air. The only anti-air that I have is this marksman. The good part is that I managed to get the towers on both sides, which means that this marksman, now that the Sabertooth is starting to simply hit the fortress, it will not be able to kill. I actually do manage to take this round as well. Look at the mass of Stormcallers that are still left alive. These two Phoenixes are going to be taken out by the marksman, which can also level once more. That is why I keep leveling the marksman in this situation. Next intensive training comes out. Now, also, how about giving me a specialist, what's it called? Skill specialist, I think. Orbital Strike also coming out. Against these Phoenixes on this side, pretty good. Fortresses do get fists now, and I drop additional fangs. Simply so that the Arclights won't immediately hit the fortresses. They will first have to hit some of these fangs. And under that protection, more units can come in. Shields on the fangs even, and fang production just to round it all out. I do also buy out and get rapid reload, launcher overload on the Stormcallers, because you know in this round the missile defenses are coming. What we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all 8 anti-missile devices going up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 packs of Stormcallers with launcher overload. I think that is enough to get some missiles through at least. Basically, I've hit a mass of Stormcallers that he can't immediately counter with one round of anti-missile devices. My opponent does also put a level into either of these towers, but honestly, I don't think that is good here. This fortress, even with a normal attack, will just kill the tower. And in the worst case, that this fortress is the one arriving here, it needs like 4 shots, which is, I guess, decent-ish. But at the same time, they also have fists now. No shields on my opponent's side, of course. He had to waste everything on anti-missile devices. So it was kind of really lucky for the orbital to come out here as well. But I'm looking at the board in this state, and I'm looking at this side particularly. I don't even think I need it. There simply is too many Stormcrawlers for one round worth of missile interception devices to work. The fortresses push through on both sides, taking out the defenses and soon taking out the towers. Yeah. There goes the first tower, and on the other side the same happens. And that's just game. So what went wrong for my opponent here? Let's learn from our opponent's mistakes as well, not just our own. I think my opponent built these units into a board that wasn't all that well suited for it, I think. Well, actually, maybe that's not true. I did have sledges here, but I also had a lot of chaff. I think I just did a good fortress switch here. And the fact that my Stormcrawlers are in positions where, at least at the beginning of the fight, even some of the orbital strikes won't do much here, was really good. On the other hand, what could my opponent have done better? I'm not entirely sure, but I think he relied way too much on just fangs. I think, legit, a lot of the fights could have been turned around simply by my opponent buying, say, a pack of crawlers here and a pack of crawlers here, just to distract these first few salvos, because they were instantly hitting home on these fangs. So with some additional crawlers, I think I would have liked his chance a lot more than with these phoenixes. I'm not sure if he really intended on doing much with them, or if they are just, bait for anti-air barrage. Because that is kind of the same thing that I tried to do with bait his anti-aircraft ammunition. But at the same time, it wasn't really doing much. The marksmen also very key to keep them alive, simply to clean up stuff like that. Yeah, legit, I think what my opponent was doing wrong is he had no crawlers in the front to distract my Stormcrawlers whatsoever. But yeah, that was game. And yeah, I will also, in the next match, if you guys want to watch that, play against him again, because after this one, I immediately found him on the ladder. Again. Oh, and what I should also mention is that I think I got really lucky. Like with intensive training, I guess that's also good for him if he picks it with the arc lights. But intensive training, I think, worked out in my favor because I could add extra HP on my fortresses with efficient money use. Because upgrading a unit is more value in theory than buying more of that unit, HP and damage-wise. Smart Marksman didn't really come in that handy, but it definitely helped as well. And at the end of the day, I started with Giant Specialist. Maybe that is also a mistake, now that I'm thinking about it. Fighting a Giant Specialist with Carry Arc Lights who can for free unlock his fortresses and get them earlier than other specialists. That 200 supply definitely is a lot. But yeah. Oh yeah, and he had that Sabertooth with super heavy armor and healing. Well, good luck against this fortress. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, hopefully.